Hi, and welcome to iTDi. My name is Phil Brown, and I'm the director of the TESOL Certificate Course.
And hi, my name is Stephen Herder. I'm one of the founders of iTDi and also a tutor on the iTDi TESOL Certificate.
So we're here today because we've had a lot of requests to get an inside look into some of the lessons on the iTDi TESOL Certificate. And we're going to show you some of the self-study online lessons, looking at the first one today.
Sounds fun to me.
All right. Okay, so here we are with Module 1, Unit 1, Lesson 1, with a vocabulary lesson written by Scott Thornbury. And in this lesson, we're going to be looking at the important issues relating to vocabulary teaching and some of the practical approaches that we can use when presenting new words.
Phil, do students or teachers working through this course, do they normally go through it with other people or not?
Right, some people take the course in a cohort, usually a small group of about up to maximum 10, but usually we keep them to about 6 or less, or they can do them individually, take the private option, and so have more of their own pacing.
So even if it's a cohort of, say, 3 or 4 students, would they be actually working through this lesson together or working through by themselves?
Sorry, say that again?
Even if there are 3 or 4 people on a cohort, are they actually meeting like you and I are and working through it together, or are they working through it by themselves?
Right, so the self-study part, people work through this lesson by themselves, but of course they could opt to get in touch with members on their cohort and talk about things as they work through.
I think I'm asking that just because I remember when we did our master's courses, it seemed to be really fun and engaging to actually go through this together and talk about things as you're going through the lesson.
Right.
That's why I'm looking forward to that with you.
I think that's a good suggestion, especially for people who can arrange their timetables to match up with someone else in their cohort.
Time zones, etc.
Yes, they'll have a much richer experience, like we always find when we look at these lessons together.
Yeah.
For other people who either want to work alone or who aren't able to match their schedules, then it's been designed to be self-study with feedback in the lesson. And during the tutorials that are weekly for the 20-week course or every 3 weeks for the 50-week course, then all participants have the opportunity to ask anything about the lesson. So for example, if there's something I want of interest or of difficulty that I want to ask other people or the tutor about in tutorial, then there is that option.
So you're saying that we're going to have a chance to meet every week and talk about these lessons if we're on the 20-week course, right?
Yes, so we do.
And then if we're on the 50-week course, we'll get together about every 3 weeks and talk about the lessons.
Right, so we do, and we do 3 lessons a week on the 20-week course, and people study 1 lesson a week on the 50-week course.
Okay, let's go into it.
Okay, so let's move into activity 1. You can either click on here on the side or just click on next activity. All right.
Okay.
So in this first activity, we're asked to think about some different statements regarding learning and teaching vocabulary. And here you can see actually I've already answered and clicked on my vote. And once you click on your vote, you get the other votes revealed. Okay. And the first one was that learners need to know a lot of words very quickly. And for me, you can see I somewhat agreed with this statement. How about you, Steve?
Was it somewhat agreed or somewhat disagreed?
Sorry, somewhat disagreed.
Okay. Learners need to know a lot of words very quickly. Yeah, no, I would somewhat disagree as well. When I started learning Japanese, I didn't need to know. I needed to know how to use the words that I was learning. You know, I remember it took me hours to practice saying "osaki ni shitsure shimasu,"
Okay.
you know, which was, I'm being rude, I'm leaving before you. And you
Mhm.
stand up and yell that at the door to the office members as you're leaving the office.
Right. So you have about some key phrases.
Yeah.
I know that when I've learned any language like from scratch, then there's probably about 20 odd phrases that I really need right away.
Yeah.
When I learned Malay, the first one was "Where's the toilet?"
Yes. Yes.
And then after that, yeah, please, thank you,
Yeah.
and so on.
The other good example is when you go to a foreign country, you're
Mm,
going to learn those 6 or 7 phrases. How much is it? Where's the bathroom? Yes, please, thank you.
right.
Yeah. So you don't need to know a lot of words very quickly.
No, indeed. And
Okay.
then after that, maybe about 200 words is what I focused on to begin with. And you can do quite a lot with 200 words. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah. You want to scroll up to the next one? I'll read it.
absolutely. Over to you.
Yeah, you scrolled up a little too high. Okay,
Okay.
there we go. Oh, there we go. Good. Okay. Um, so it says the teacher can't teach all the words that the learners need. It looks like most of us agreed strongly there, right?
Okay. Is that what you chose as well?
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, there's just not enough class time, really.
I like how Paul Nation talks about the time, you know, to really know a word, and he goes into great detail of what that actually means. And
Mm,
they calculated it at about 5 minutes per word. So in
hmm.
a 90-minute class, you could study 18 words and nothing else.
Right. And that's just presenting it, not actually learning it and sort of
Right,
how to
right,
use it. So,
right.
yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah,
So it's much more valuable, as Paul Nation points out, to be able to help learners identify what words they need to know and what aspects of word knowledge are important.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh, should we look at the next one?
yeah.
Learners learn words more quickly when they are relevant to their interests or needs.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to agree strongly with that. So I can click here
Good. Now we can see what it looks like to vote.
and I can cast my vote and it'll pull up everyone else who's voted before me.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Well, why are we doing this kind of statements and voting on it? What's the purpose in the lesson of that?
Yeah, I find that it's good as a kind of priming us for what's coming next and
Mm,
getting thinking about the different areas that are important for the lesson.
mm,
And it's nice to see kind of where one stands and sometimes realize that, oh, there's a whole range of different answers. In this one, of course, there's mostly strongly agree, but in the top one, the answers are a lot more spread in the first one.
mm.
And
Good.
so people's
Yeah, I always enjoy doing these just to see what the instructor's thinking about these topics as well.
Hmm. I
Okay.
always find it most interesting when there's a lot of answers that are different to mine because I want to
Yeah,
kind
sure,
of
sure.
hire
You like arguing about things.
it. Discussing.
Discussing, sorry. It's next one says it's important that new words are associated with words that the learners already know. Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I somewhat agree.
And I somewhat disagree.
Okay,
Mm.
so tell me why you somewhat disagree.
Well, I think the context is more important than I perhaps misunderstood this
Mm,
talking about like word families and things that we need to know words that are similar to other words we know.
mhm,
But that's not the case. If I want to say to somebody that I'm hungry, I
mhm.
don't really need to know how to say I'm famished and I'm you know, whatever that P word is, something. There's a word that means hungry. I don't need to know variations on it. I just think I need to know what I need to know. What do you think?
Yeah, I took this as to do with the word associations to do with different types of word knowledge. So just as you gave us an example of a synonym, then sometimes it's good to also be able to connect new words with other related words like collocations, words that go together,
Ah,
or also opposites, antonyms.
yeah,
So
You got me again. I understand what you mean now, because sometimes I want to say I'm hungry, but probably I'm likely to also want to say I'm full sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Or like, oh, I'm really hungry.
Famished. There is a P word. I just can't remember what it is right now. Peke or picky or something.
Peckish.
Peckish. Thank you. I'm feeling peckish.
Yeah, we use that a lot where I'm from.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okie dokie. To learn a new word, you need to know its form, spelling and pronunciation, its meaning, and how it's used in context.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
Yep, all three of those are important.
Yeah, you gonna vote? Let's register this.
Okay, strongly agree. And for higher levels, you may also need to know nuance as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And the collocations, eh? What other words it goes with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. A good way to learn vocabulary is through memorizing word lists. Controversial.
I will somewhat disagree.
I will somewhat agree.
Okay. Tell me more.
You're making me go first on all of these. That's very, very clever of you. I was reading one of the articles that Paul, is it Mira?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Paul Mira was talking about, and talking about you have to really push people to learn large numbers of vocabulary just to get some momentum and get them going. And so I have come around to the idea that you just have to kind of make a big effort on this, and doing word lists or sets of words every week, every day, for an intense period of this term at school, I'm going to study vocabulary as one of my kind of showing my effort. I think there's an argument for that now.
I see. Yeah, and the irony of my answer saying that I somewhat disagree is actually I've used word lists, and I still do if I'm learning another language. But I think it's the question about, there's two important questions, is where do the word lists come from? So sometimes, for example, you may just be given a list of words on a course, but there hasn't been much thought into how the word list or what's gone on the word list, how the word list is being designed, etc. And or whether, you know, the word list being generated by the learners themselves, which is
I want to give a shout out to Charlie Brown now and all the work that he and his partners have done on the new general service list, which anybody watching this should go check out, because boy, have they got the whole concept of frequency down pat.
Yeah, absolutely. They've built on some previous work and updated seminal work from West back in
1950s.
Over ago, and they've made it relevant to the day and age. So it's fantastic and great resources there. So that would be a word list that I do use and refer to. But the second question is about, you know, how do people use a word list? And I think typically we have this image of people just looking at words and trying to remember them and so forth, which there are issues. So that's why I somewhat disagree.
Yeah. Okay. Let me read the last one there.
Go for it.
You can learn some words just by reading.
And I will somewhat agree.
Oh no, I'm going to somewhat agree as well. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think reading is a great way. And also we get an opportunity to see words in different types of contexts and gradually gain an understanding of what they mean and how they're used. But the important thing is also noticing as you go along. So I think that's, you know, reading vocabulary, reading different texts that are comprehensible and that are comfortable for you to read is a great way to be able to improve our vocabulary.
I've noticed that when I'm studying Japanese, it's when I've noticed a word 2 or 3 times that I get kind of, my interest is piqued and I want to know the word. So I've noticed that in reading English as well, that when I see a word and I go, wow, I've I can guess the meaning from the context, but it makes me interested enough to look it up.
Mm.
And there have been like 3 or 4 words in the past couple of weeks that have happened like that. And I can't pull one up right now because they haven't been completely activated.
Right.
I now understand them passively, but I don't have them on the tip of my tongue to be able to use them, which is interesting to me.
And that makes sense for saying somewhat agree, because there's always that need to do something else beyond just reading for a lot of people.
Okay. I like being so logical. Is that okay? We're going to vote there. Good. Oh, we got more.
Last one.
More. Yeah, go ahead.
Learners need opportunities to recycle words they have studied before.
As I just said.
I strongly agree with this one.
Yeah. Nation, I mean, there's different numbers, hey? People say how many times you have to interact with a word. I hear 7, or I've heard different numbers as well, but
yes.
I tell my students that interaction can be seeing it a few times, you know, hearing it, reading it, saying it, writing it, you know, to me, all of those are somewhat equivalent. Do you think so, or?
Yeah, most of the work I remember from doing my master's dissertation was looking at kind of 5 to 7 words as being the most common ballpark. Sorry, 5 to 7 times that you see, hear, use a word.
Yeah.
But it can be up to 20 or more. So a lot, I think, depends upon how memorable they are to you and the context, and how you kind of, what strategies you might use to remember those words.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Why don't we pause here just for a second?
Sounds good.
Before we move on.